From Global's newsroom, the Prime Minister could face a major Commons rebellion later over his Plan B COVID measures in England. Many Tory MPs are unhappy over the proposals to make COVID passes mandatory for entry to some venues, including nightclubs. Tobias Elwood has told Nick why he'll be voting against that element.
It doesn't make sense. How can you go into a nightclub with a lateral flow test, which makes sense, but I could turn up and join you if I've had 2 jabs completed 6 months ago? And it would affect places like Bournemouth because, of course, the nighttime economy is critical. How are you actually going to police this at 1 a.m. in the morning?
The government says Plan B is a balanced and proportionate response to the Omicron variant. Fully vaccinated people in England who are close contacts of someone with COVID must now do a daily lateral flow test. It's hoped that testing for 7 days will reduce the spread of Omicron. Those who are unvaccinated must continue to self-isolate. Plans to change the Human Rights Act are due to be outlined later. Justice Secretary Dominic Raab argues the reforms will prevent abuses of the system and add common sense to how legislation is interpreted. But campaigners say the government is trying to put itself above the law. The mother of a newborn baby found abandoned in a park in Birmingham has been tracked down after an 8-month search. The baby was discovered wrapped in a blanket by a dog walker in Kings Norton in April. Police won't be taking action against the mother. Official figures show Britain's jobs market has strengthened further despite the end of the furlough scheme. The number of payrolled workers rose by more than 250,000 last month to 29.4 million. That's higher than before the pandemic. James Reed, the founder of Reed Recruitment, has told LBC it's a surprising figure.
I've never seen a number that big, I don't think. It's significant that the jobs boom that began in the spring of this year seems to be continuing strongly, despite all the news about new variants and potential restrictions.
A coronavirus outbreak at Manchester United has forced tonight's Premier League trip to Brentford to be postponed. A number of United players and staff tested positive on Sunday. The Premier League's recorded its highest number of COVID cases in a 7-day period. In the city, the FTSE 100 has just reopened at 72.31 after closing down 60 points yesterday, and the pound buys $1.32 and €1.17. LBC weather, cloudy and mild for most, wet and windy in the northwest of the UK, and patchy drizzle in the south, a high of 14 degrees. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm Simon Conway.